Okay, well, getting up and being stupid. Oh, still hurts. You're wondering what you're looking at? Well, what they are waveguide systems. I'm cleaning them up, and they came up with two warships. Columbia, not Columbia. No, there's actually three warships involved in this thing. Columbia, but not Mackenzie, I don't think. Saskatchewan, Yukon. Oh, these guys. I see that round ball in there. So the juice goes from a coax into here. This is broadcast out and run down these waveguides, okay? Over a gig, a lot of watts. And let's see what else we got. Two of these I got. Another one here. Highly polished, silver plated, maybe even rhodium metal. And let's see, that one got it on there. Where did it go? So also on the join, they'll use this. It's a totally perfect fit. Shim stock. Now these come off of Columbia. It had a gigantic coil room down below. And these were mounted on the coil. It was matching sets, okay? When the coil moved around, it actually moved around, would connect to another one of these, like two of them would touch. A radio broadcast. Really impressive stuff. I think I've got the female version somewhere too. So these are very well made. And I put it all together like this, which it's really not supposed to be, but for my application, I thought it was interesting to do so, and it seemed to do things. But I didn't have the heavy wattage, but still had a bit. From a Magnetron, I got the main Magnetron as well, but the power levels are not as great as a warship. Now this is for with the ribs. Let's move it. It's called. I can read it or look at it. Switch waveguide. You can't probably read the rest. It's got some paint or something over it. Let's see. I don't think it was the one. RCA Victor Company. Limited Canada, believe it or not. So that's... no, I thought it gives the wattage. Royal Canadian Navy on top. That's kind of cool. The other one reads basically the same. Let's go to the other one. Switch waveguide, Royal Canadian Navy. Transmitter, antenna, and the antenna was up on top of the ship, which you see spinning around, and you see me in the TLC TV show Science Frontiers. I was up on the superstructure, staring right into the main radar antenna. So this thing got kind of abused, is bashed up a bit, so I'm going to redo it. Got this here, getting that off, clean it all up, put it back together with a little bit different configuration. Let's see, what can we see here? Danger hot. So this whole thing is called a dummy load for the whole system for testing. And what they would do is switch this from antenna to dummy load. And this thing would get hot. So that's a powerful Magnetron, right? That's what I've been working on. I'll take it all apart, clean it up. And this was in the living room, believe it or not. suspended from the ceiling. And I had minor RF going into it. And broadcast at the very end. Unusual wave patterns, which were totally chaotic, by the way. If you looked at it at a gig and a half on a spectrum analyzer, it looked weird. But anyway, and it was not that powerful. Nonetheless, it seemed to get the work done. That's a lot of cool engineering in these things. Again, just coax. But I'm going to take this stuff off. Why it's all like that, I don't know. The other one is too. Take those off, get rid of it, redo the whole thing, and maybe use only one for the new application. Because I don't have the gear to drive this thing anymore. Need to get on a Canadian destroyer or a U.S. destroyer and pull out the radar transmitters. Okay, so... Oh, wow, this is the bracket. Look how white all that stuff is. I think that is aluminum oxide. That would go on the back here to block that off because you don't want any stray electromagnetic radiation at those frequencies. And there's tags on here, but it's black. I wonder, they probably painted over the tags. And in here we've got circulators and accumulators. Where are we here? Lots to it. And that looks like, ooh, wow, that's cool. Gotta get some light in there and take maybe one of these off. Up here, hockey pucks. To block it with this foil. But it had actually variable type of ground type systems. And what happened to those, I don't know. Oh, one hockey puck came off. Well, that's okay. There'll be a piece that goes on top here, screws on, and you... Kind of like a bolt-action rifle. Meaning that it acted like a bolt, kind of like a bolt action, looked like one. But you move it up and down the bolt to ground, which would interfere with the whole transmission and measurements of the waveguide and the transmitters. This is for main radar, by the way. Yes, I did have the whole radar system too. I wish I could find the wattage. It should have it on here. Serial number CD. Well, I think they did a great job of making this thing. It was up on close to the ceiling. I'll use my wrenches and straps and things. Well, each ship was a year, so a lot got accomplished in a year. 5 years, because we had 1 year where we didn't get a ship in. So what we did do is work with the stuff on the docks. And then I went to LA a few times and came back and looking down at the Fraser River, wonder if the ship came in yet, and it finally did, so. Did come in by tugs. We tied it up with 2.5 inch nylon white ropes, zigzagging onto the dock there on the anchor points to give it a bit of flexibility, because if one of those ropes snapped, which they would do, it'd take your head off. So, yeah, thank you. This is quite something. So tomorrow I'll take all this off and dismount, reconnect, and I'm going to add some other things. Just This is weird. Looks like it turned to jelly or something. Even the screw holes are weird. I really don't know. Should I keep it as a metal sample? Elongated. I guess I should. I don't know. Because the other things are bolted on here and then kept it hidden. Another one's kind of the same, but I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it, throw it in a metal sample box, sell it. So that's the story on that. And what else can I talk about? Anything else? Well, let's say the magnetron is the magnet for it was about 200 pounds. And that would slip onto the magnetron itself, which is a good hefty, getting close to 20 pounds as I recall, and unused in original boxes. The fun thing with storerooms on warships, they leave all the manuals behind. I mean, would fill this whole room here with them. Very handy things to have. And I had a number of them, but I use them for, let's say, how you take apart or what parts for the artillery, as well as the radar, countermeasure system. So, make a damn good library. Jolly in the belly. Off topic. I found on eBay these pliers. These are kind of had in the apartment that I ripped a bathtub and a refrigerator apart. You know, be kind of secret squirrel. Just the landlady or landlord might get really upset or something. I don't know. But I did that. And the CBC reporter called me the serial fridge killer. And he laughed his head off while Jan Carroll looked puzzled and scared looking. Girlfriend at the time. But she kind of just let it go by the wayside. But Chester Plansky of CBC, this guy was fantastic. He did a story on me with free energy things I was making for the Japanese folks. That's uploaded. So we did 12 minutes and 13 minutes so far, me talking about waveguide stuff. A lot of engineering in this stuff. The other stuff I got off the warships, and here is countermeasures, antenna transceivers, system up to 18 gigahertz, of course. I'll walk over here and show you. You've probably seen them before. These guys. They were mounted, this one would be mounted down, pointing up, the nose pointing up, and a smaller one above it, with a rotating plate on an angle in between the two. It's the countermeasures. And it did the same with the 3-inch 50 radar system, and rotating center point in the antenna structure. Kind of interesting. So this guy got Saskatchewan, Yukon. Boy, I really worked hard on those two, I guess, taking these things down. I would tie myself into the superstructure with ropes and have all my tools tied to things so if I drop something it wouldn't fall. Even the device here is pretty heavy. And a rope around that and a pulley, and down it comes onto the deck. This is some of the, which will still work. RF amplifiers. It says AC volts, but I'm sure the AC volts is super high in frequency. AC input. Serial number. Output. +7 dBm. MIM. Frequency 7 to 12 gigahertz. Model ATR 12071. Avantech. I see their name comes up a lot in military, Navy stuff. I got two of these, or several of these. Avantech. Oh, where'd the other one go? Over there. Beautifully well-made little things. Now these were inside, of course. Another one. A great gray box. What was it? How high was that thing? How big? I say 25 inches deep, 25 wide by, I think, 10 inches high or 8 inches. Those were inside with all the circulators and RF amps and all that cool stuff. I don't think I have. No, I don't. Oh, well. So I talked to your, sorry, doctor. So let's see what else. Wash my hands, get ready to go. That's all the parts coming out of this fellow. It's interesting to frustrate RF. It should be at a precise frequency, but what if you put a little bit of a weird antenna on something? As I mentioned before, the odd readings and sounds I've got on the spectrum analyzer. Pretty cool stuff. Fooling around. Oh yeah, here's the spectrum analyzer. Used. Match it and monitor everything I'm doing. I have this one, I have another one too. Plus radio receivers. Some matter of this fine tuning stuff. Anyway, I gotta go. Okay?